All right, welcome back to Zenith Poker. Today I'll be showing you guys how to get access to the full 100 big blind 6 max cash game ranges. So all you've got to do is go to zenith.poker and then log into your account. It's free to make an account. And then you just click on the training. So in the training, there's a whole bunch of courses that you can go to, but the one specifically for the free ranges is Preflop Fundamentals. So you can click on that. And then all you got to do to enroll is just click take this course. Right, and for that you'll get a handful of videos with a bit of an overview. But the main thing it'll give you access to is the preflop section. So you go and click on the preflop button. And then it'll say this, but all you got to do is click refresh access. And it'll automatically reload the page. And voila, you'll have access to the full 6 max cash game preflop ranges. So all of these were calculated on enormous hardware, and it's got multiple different sizes at each node, so you guys can basically know the best way to respond to a GTO way, or close to GTO way to respond to any kind of situation that you might face on the tables. So the rate for this particular set of calculations was 5% capped at 1 big blind, which is roughly mid-stakes rate. But if you're playing at lower levels than mid-stakes, which I'm sure many of you are, you should probably be playing ranges like this anyway, because moving up to mid-stakes is probably going to be a goal of yours or one of your long-term goals. So it actually makes more sense to learn where you want to be rather than learning where you are now and have to relearn everything later on. So let's just dive into the range viewer and then we can look at how to use it. So at the top here, we've got the different opening positions. So low jack is the first player is under the gun in 6 max. Then hijack is like MP. So some people call low jack EP and hijack MP, but I call them low jack and hijack. You've got the cutoff button and small blind. And you've got the number of sizes. Low jack, I might redo this one with some more sizes, particularly the 2.25 open size. But to be honest, opening to 2 big blinds is reasonable. It also has GTO responses against the limp. If you're confused about how to play against players who limp, then especially players that go for the cheeky limp re-raise, playing in sort of this GTO response is going to be for you. So basically, depending on the opening position, that's going to really define the sub-game that you're in. There is, in rally, there is a little bit of bunching from the folded cards of earlier opponents. So say, for example, you want to apply this to a 9 max table, the later opening in positions might not apply quite as accurately as you would think. It's going to be off by maybe 0.5% here and there. So let's take a look at some of these. So basically, say for example, we open in the hijack, and you got 2 big blind open, a 2.25 big blind open, and you got all the responses that you could think of. So basically here on the left, inside the brackets, it tells you how much money you're putting in for that raise as a portion of the stack, and the stack size here is 100 big blinds. And on the right, it'll tell you how often you're doing it as your overall strategy as a part of the range and the EV of the overall, the sum of the hands that take that size. But if you want to get more specific, you can just click on a hand and then you can see its frequencies, its exact frequencies for each of the different sizes, and then its EV for each of those sizes. For a lot of these spots, it'll be indifferent, so the EV will be exactly the same. Okay, so say for example, you've got, so hijack open to 2 big blinds and then cutoff races to, let's say around 7. Right? All of these simulations are just approximations, so it's fine for you to approximate as well. Let's say you've got the 3-bet to around 7 big blinds. Here we're going to use 6.95, which is pretty close. Here we've got button coming over the top with a cold 4-bet, small blind coming over the top with a cold 4-bet, big blind coming over the top with a cold 4-bet, for reasons that have to do with, for technical reasons really, when setting up the simulation, I've removed the cold calling ranges for these 3-bet positions just because of RAM. And then we get, and then we get back here to the hijack again. Now we've got the hijack's 4-bet range. And so you can see which hands that it's 4-betting and which sizes it's going for. So that's an example of how you might use it for looking up how to respond against a 3-bet. And if your opponent 3-bets for a different size, you can just click the different size. So there's against the 8 big blind 3-bet, goes back to you in the hijack, and look at that. It's almost playing 4-bet or fold. So I imagine what might actually happen if I cut off 3-bet to a size even bigger than this. Pretty easy to respond. You just play forward and fold. Other examples here. Button got a variety of different open sizes that you can choose from. All of these. This is the GTO thing, so it's going to be mixing. You might just pick one that you like and choose some hands to do it in, or if you're more advanced, then you can try to split the sizes yourself. If you have any issues with that, you can always just turn off frequency mode. And this is just a sample mode, so basically it'll tell you exactly what to do with that hand, and then if you want to sample it again, you can just sample it again. You see how it's all changing? It's basically throwing an RNG at itself and then producing the different open sizes. So very nice to use. Say for example, you've got Queen 10 offsuit, you just click the button open, and then we see here Queen 10 offsuit is opening to 50% of the pot. That's 2.25. So whatever 2.25 is in your games, you would click that, and then it automatically RNGs, so you're automatically balanced in terms of preflop, regardless of what you do. So you can see all these. You've got the response to limp. Small blind in rally actually does limp at equilibrium. It's really nice to limp in the small blind. So here is the GTO response to a limp. Your opponents are limping much weaker than the GTO limping range. You could probably attack the limp really wide. And then there, and you've got the limp 3-bet range. Limp 3-bet range tells you which size to use here, between 14 and 15.75. Limp 3-bet, you've got the 4-bet response of that limp 3-bet, 4-betting can mean to 28. And then basically you got the all-in. So it'll tell you everything. I think if I remember correctly, there is cold calling of the 4-bet. There's only cold calling of the 3-bet, sorry, in this button one. So button opening, and then small blind raising, and then there's the big blind cold call. You can see, even though the big blind is in position to the small blind, there's not a lot of cold calling that 3-bet. So for example here, like cut off open, hijack open, you get 3-bet button in position player. The out of position players, the blind just aren't going to cold call the 3-bet anyway. At least at equilibrium, they shouldn't. So while this sim won't exactly tell you how to respond to the situation where you get 3-bet and then there's a cold call out of the blinds, that particular part of the treat is outside of GTO by a fairly large margin. You'll have to come up with your own ideas. I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but you could change the colors. Change the colors to whichever color you want, whichever ones are better for your eyes. I just use standard, it's pretty good, but everyone sees things a little bit differently, so just have a fiddle around and see which of the color sets you like the best, and that'll help you out. Another thing that you can do is you can export the particular range that you're looking at. You can copy the exact range that you're looking at, and you can choose what the output will be, whether that's a GTO Plus or Pio, simple preflop, Pro Poker Tools, Monka, or whatever standard you want to use. Sample mode, action, hinting, that indicate reload action for sample mode. I don't know, I don't even use that myself. Anyway, so there's that. Where is, pretty sure there's dark mode here somewhere. Oh yeah, if you scroll up to this, you can click dark mode. There you go. That's so much better. So that's dark mode. And then you got normalized weighted mode, unnormalized weighted mode, unnormalized weighted mode. So like this stuff, say for example, you want to put in weighted mode. Basically what this will do is it will show you the exact frequencies that you, from the previous nodes. So all the previous nodes, it'll create a weight rather than for each of these like bars, that means it's not in there. For each of the green bars, it's in there. And then in the viewer config, if you want to normalize that, it'll basically just divide it by the one hand that opened to full frequency, which anyway, it'll end up dividing by the biggest hand, which here is A6 suited. So that kind of increases the bars a little bit. Makes it a bit easier to see exactly what's going on with the weights. But you can see that the relative weights of the hands rise accordingly, that a lot of these hands towards the side here, like Ace-8 offsuit, Ace-6 suited, Ace-4 offsuit, are weighted slightly more than some of these other hands. So say, for example, we wanted to copy the 4-bet range, right? We just go copy range, and now we get to choose which exact range we want to copy. So say, for example, we want to copy the 4-bet range, which 4-bets to 23.7. You just unclick that and you click this thing. And then you can copy it, right? Copy paste manually, or just press this button depending on whether or not your browser supports it. I know, and this is Firefox, so Firefox will just support this button, but other browsers might not. So you can just copy and paste it manually, and then you just drag and drop it into whatever postflop solver or whatever you're doing. So that's how you copy and paste the ranges, so you can analyze the ranges like that. So pretty intuitive to use. If you have any specific questions about how to use it, you can just go back to the Zenith Poker website, and then you can join the Discord. So basically just click this Discord invite and then just post it in the Discord, and people will help you out. There's almost about 2,000 people in that Discord now, so that's pretty good. So I'm sure someone there will help you out, if not myself. So yeah, please sign up. And if you have any other questions, you can always leave a comment underneath this video if you're not sure, and then I'll get around to it when I can. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and enjoy the new Preflop ranges, and let me know how you go with them. Thanks guys, bye.